This podcast was created with several AI tools. The voices you will hear are from Google's Notebook LM. The music was generated with Suno. The visuals are by DALL-E and My Voice. 11 Labs generate me. The content we talk about in this podcast is, however, not AI generated, but originates from various online resources like articles, books, and scientific research papers. Have fun on this AI-generated Advanced Insights podcast. And before we start, subscribe and hit the notification bell and like this video. Share it with your AI-loving friends.
Ever feel like you're kind of, stuck in a rut? Like a broken record of the same old mistakes, same doubts. Yeah. Especially those that stem from past experiences.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Right. But what if I told you that we have more power to hit the skip button on that broken record than we think?
Now that's an intriguing thought.
Right. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating connection between our thoughts, our beliefs, and the surprising ways we can actually shape our own realities.
Sounds like we're going to be flexing some mental muscles today.
Absolutely. And our guide on this journey is Maurice Zondag, and a thought-provoking excerpt from his book, How to Manifest Your Best Life. Get this, Zondag argues that we're not actually limited by our past experiences as much as we tend to think.
Oh, tell me more. I'm intrigued.
He says our beliefs are way more adaptable than we realize, more like, clay that we can mold and reshape. And by reshaping those beliefs, we can actually reshape our reality.
And the really cool thing is, this isn't just some kind of, self-help mumbo-jumbo. There's actually some pretty compelling stuff from neuroscience that backs this up.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that.
Well, our brains, right? They're incredible at learning from experience.
Yeah, for better or worse, right?
Exactly. But the thing is, this also means they can kind of get stuck in a rut, clinging to limitations based on past setbacks instead of seeing these amazing new possibilities that are right in front of us.
Right, so our brains just become creatures of habit, taking the same neural pathways over and over again, even if those paths, lead to dead ends.
Precisely. And that's what's so fascinating about Zondag's perspective. He talks about how our subconscious mind, that deep down part of us, doesn't really differentiate between a super vivid memory and something that's happening to us this very second.
Oh, seriously?
It's wild, right? So think about that for a second. If we're constantly replaying negative experiences in our minds, our subconscious is essentially reliving that negativity over and over and over again.
Oh, that's kind of a vicious cycle.
Exactly. And that's a big reason why we often feel so stuck.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So then how do we break free from that?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Zondag found that this same principle, this power of the subconscious, can also be used to reprogram our realities. We can actually shift those deeply ingrained patterns, those ruts we get stuck in.
Okay, so instead of being haunted by the ghosts of experiences past, we can actually rewrite the script.
You got it.
I am so intrigued. Tell me everything.
It all comes down to this. Our subconscious minds, they're powerful, right? But they're not always the best at telling the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined.
Okay, so you're saying if we can make those dreams, those things we want, feel as real as those old memories, the subconscious will start to see them as possibilities.
Exactly. Even as realities that are already in motion.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
It can't be as simple as just, wishing on a star, right?
You got it. Zondag talks about the importance of getting super detailed, and I mean really detailed, about your dream future.
Like what? Give me the specifics.
Think about it. What does it look like? What are you doing? What's around you? Who else is there? What does it smell like? Feel like?
Oh, wow. I see what you mean by detailed.
Right. The more senses you can bring into it, the more real it becomes to your subconscious.
So we're basically creating a movie in our minds.
Yeah.
With us as the directors.
You got it. You're creating a new memory of the future, and it's so clear and compelling that your subconscious mind starts acting like it's already happening.
Wow.
Right. And then this is where the real magic comes in. Those actions you start taking, they actually start shaping your reality to match that vision.
Okay, that's amazing, but life gets in the way.
Yeah.
How do we keep that vision front and center and not fall back into old patterns?
That's where it gets really practical. Zondag suggests tying those awesome visualizations to things in your everyday life, those little cues.
What do you mean?
So maybe you put a visual reminder of your goal, somewhere you'll see it all the time, or listen to certain music that makes you feel the way you want to feel when you achieve your goal.
Oh, I love that. So if someone wants to write a book, They could keep a picture of their favorite author on their desk.
Exactly. You're connecting that internal vision with your external world. Little reminders to your subconscious, right?
Yeah, I get it. So as you start to notice those small wins along the way, it's like proof to your subconscious that your dream future isn't just a fantasy. It's real. It's happening.
Exactly. You're training your brain to see the path, even if it couldn't see it before.
This is making so much sense. Are there real-life examples of this working? Have people actually had success with this?
Oh, absolutely. And Zondag's not the only one saying this. This idea of the mind's power to shape reality. It's been around for ages, you know?
Wow. Okay, so this is a lot bigger than just one guy's theory then.
Way bigger. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
But, before we get too carried away with all of this, I want to bring it back down to earth a little bit. What can our listeners actually do with this? Because knowing something is one thing, but actually using it, well, that's the real game changer, right?
I'm with you 100% on that. And Zondag's work reminds us that we're not just along for the ride when it comes to our lives. We're not just passengers,
We have the wheel.
Exactly. We have the power and maybe even more importantly, the responsibility to be shaping things to create the reality we want to be living.
So it's not about blame, it's about ownership.
Absolutely. And Zondag leaves us with this really great line. He says, if you keep doing what you did yesterday, your today will be a copy of yesterday.
Ooh, that's a powerful thought.
Right.
It really is. So let's talk about that, listeners. What's one area where you feel like you're stuck replaying the same old story because of something from your past? What's one thing you're doing that's keeping you stuck in that cycle?
It's time to hit that skip button.
Yes. Break free. So to get us started, how about this? What one small step can you take today, right now, to even begin to picture that different future?
It doesn't have to be huge. Even the tiniest step can make a difference.
Exactly. Could be jotting down a few notes about how your ideal life looks and feels, really getting into those details we talked about. Or maybe it's taking 5 minutes each morning to just visualize that future, make it real in your mind.
Or even just noticing those thoughts that come up throughout the day, those little whispers of doubt from the past, and choosing a different thought instead, one that aligns with where you want to go.
It's like choosing a new soundtrack for your life, right?
Exactly.
And with each little step, each new thought, you're creating something incredible.
You're painting a masterpiece.
And there you have it. Today's deep dive into how our thoughts and beliefs can shape our realities and the very real power we each have to manifest the life we desire. Remember, you are not a broken record. You have the power to change the tune, rewrite the script, create a whole new soundtrack. Start with that one small step today. Keep that vision alive and never, ever underestimate your incredible power to create the life of your dreams. Until next time.